enjoy everything. All right, thank y'all so much.
I hope. All right, we're gonna get started right quick. You know what I mean? Reason why we came out here is because we felt as though it was necessary to bring prayer back into hip hop. Now, myself personally, I had the opportunity to attend a Bible college and train to be a pastor. You know what I'm saying? And because of certain inconsistencies that I had the opportunity to bear witness to, I decided instead of going to the pulpit, come straight back to the hood and bring my message and my ministry back home. For me personally, I had to realize that instead of searching for God and looking for God to fall out of the sky and save me, I'd rather start from within and recognize the power and responsibility that I have and then extend that from there. You know what I'm saying? All my life as a child, everybody encouraged me through Christianity to become saved, which was good because it was a major part of my journey. But I looked up one day and realized that I was saved, but I wasn't safe. A lot of people around me were saved, but we still not safe. And that's because we have grown to become ignorant through various conditions around us to neglect the power that exists within. As rappers, as musicians, every word that you speak has power. So I was asked to lead this prayer. I took an opportunity to meditate on it and ask myself, what kind of universal message can I bring to the people where the prayer isn't just a wish to the sky and hope that God answers our prayers, but it's actually something practical that we know we can move forward with. What kind of universal message can I bring to the people? And upon my meditation, I realized that, okay, maybe I should let Pac do the talking. You know what I'm saying? I came across something years ago which Pac left for us that a lot of people just don't know about. I looked for it on the internet, I couldn't find it. I looked for it everywhere, I couldn't find it. So I had to figure out where I left it at. I figured out where I left it at, went and grabbed it, and it was Tupac's last prayer to the streets. You know what I'm saying? So we're going to start with that. You know what I mean? Then we're going to do a form of unity, a unity circle, you know what I mean, and give some positive affirmations. But first we're going to start with the words of Pac. So if y'all just be patient and listen closely to what Pac had to say, because this was his prayer. This wasn't his wish to the sky that he hoped to come true. This was his message to the people that he gave y'all to make it come true. And that's where we got to take prayer from now on, and that's how we got to perceive God. We got to make this thing happen, because right now we falling behind as a community. And if as hip-hop, people all over the world are listening to what we got to say. People in Japan spit hip-hop lyrics and they don't even speak English. In our lowest state, in our ignorant state, we still lead in the world. Imagine if we just stepped it up just a little bit where we can take this world. You know what I'm saying? A lot of us are looking for Obama to make the change. Time and relationships, you know what I'm saying? We all made sacrifices to be here. So I congratulate everybody for being here, man, and it's an honor that we all can come together in a form of unity. We doing what the industry has convinced us not to do, and that's come together and regenerate our power. Because once we become powerful, the people behind the desk got to let go of some of that money. They got to let go of some of that power, and it's not a handout. You know what I'm saying? We breaking it down. We no longer looking for a piece of the pie. We taking control of the kitchen. So when y'all go back home, you understand what I'm saying? Because it's our kitchen to begin with. You know what I'm saying? It's our house to begin with. We knocking on the door asking, can we get in to have a piece? No, we not doing that no more. We letting them know that hip-hop is ours. The music industry is ours. You understand? These words that we spit and the power and the responsibility, the only way we going to get the power is if we show and prove that we ready to be responsible for it. You know what I'm saying? So we're going to balance out just a little bit of all of the ignorance with just a little bit of intelligence. One drop of purity can clean an entire cesspool. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah. All right, so this is what Pac had to say. This is called The Code of the Thug Life. And he wrote this. This was inspired by Amaru Shakur, who was his stepfather, who's in prison right now. And Matulu is mad cool. He write me from prison. You can contact him. He'll write you and all of that. Just hit him up. All right? Pac said, someone must dare to put the street life back on track. It's clear to anybody that can see that the hustling game, but will also destroy any foundation in our community. But more important, the combination of self-destruction and turf warfare, coupled with the government's police terrorism, fascist laws designed to capture and keep our black men and women in jail for the rest of their lives, and leaves a defenseless community, will result in our genocide. For as long as the street game, the hustle game has existed in our community, which is the result of many factors and will only be resolved through our liberation. It has been viewed as a necessary tolerance between the legal and illegal economy and culture. The underground economy is in many areas been supportive of the uplifting of the black community. Although for a fact it has been the downfall of individuals. The dynamics of struggle between the do-gooders and the thugs has kept a consistent battle for balance in our community, which at least was under control. The rules of engagement of the hustle was the code of the thug life. This code was the ABCs of how the street game should and would be played. These rules allow for money to be made by the crews in the different fields of the game and determine how disputes between and among the players should be handled. It has allowed the people who were not in the game to pressure the enemy of our people and allow the people who will work in the interests of our people, education, health, housing, legal, etc., to feel that the effort was worth it. The game today as it exists is a complete violation of the code. Historically, the street hustler was hip to the enemy and would never work in the government's interest to destroy their own life. Let me stop right there. Rick Ross has a quote in this song right now that says, "I'm selling dope on my iPhone." I'm going to let y'all take a moment to think about that in relation to what Pac just said. Historically, the street hustler was hip to the enemy and would never work in the government's interest to destroy their own people. The thug life is a tool of the enemy as it exists today. It must change. Outside forces and methods whose interests are being served by the hustlers, the crew have no dignity. They have no honor, and this must be corrected. It's up to y'all to correct that, man. A council must be called to put a code to the thug life. We accept that the game will go on until our liberation. What we won't accept is that the game will destroy us from within before we get another chance to rumble and rebuild. If you ready to rumble and you ready to rebuild, put your hand in the air, man.
Shit, like the power, nigga.
No doubt. We will not allow ourselves to be played by the covert operations, COINTELPRO, and low-intensity warfare waged by the United States government. A code must be established, and we look at the West Coast. The majority of the life is controlled by gangs. In the Mid-East, the common denominator there is also the gangs, which are responsible for the street life. Politically, culturally, and economically, the forces in an attempt to put the game back on track and work in the interest of the community and to resist the strategy of the government. They have begun setting down a platform for the street game in full effect. We praise their efforts. The code of the thug life must become a part of us on the East Coast as well. There must be a common denominator. The original gangsters behind the walls of the dungeon will take some responsibility to put in force to the council in the code. We must act now. The code of the thug life will save us to fight another day. If we don't, we assed out. Words from Tupac Shakur. So on that note, we're going to express a form of unity. Now understand there's a such thing as the collective consciousness. You know what I'm saying? When you look at fish in the ocean, when you see a school of fish, when one turn, what they do? All of them turn. When you look at birds in the sky, it can be 100 birds in the sky. When one turn, all of them turn. Our minds work the same way. The internet is designed based on our mentality. Everything for that technology deal with is based off of how you operate. So right now, by us thinking it, by us feeling it, by us knowing it, all over the world, once we turn, everybody turning with us. You feel what I'm saying? So we got this circle right here, right? I want everybody on the outer perimeter of the circle. We're going to grab hands and then we're going to go from there, man. We're going to just have a moment, you know what I'm saying, of unity. When we're going to turn and turn everybody with us. Circle.
I'm taping so I might hold my hand.
Long as we connect, it ain't got to be a perfect circle. Long as we connect. Right now, this is us turning and turning the rest of the world with us. You understand what I'm saying? And it's going to take a moment because there's a lot of us out here, but it's going to be well worth the effort. And we're going to start somewhere right here. Right? I want everybody to speak a positive affirmation. It could be one word, it could be a statement, it could be a phrase. But put a positive affirmation in the atmosphere right now that represents the fact that you're turning towards intelligence and away from ignorance. The word ignorance, if you look at it, has the root word ignore. It doesn't mean that you don't know. It's a lot that I don't know, but I'm not ignorant. Ignorance means that you have the opportunity to know, but you choose to ignore. And that's what we're doing right now. We have the opportunity.